Hi, I'm Adam DeSanctis. Welcome to MBA Now. Artificial intelligence. Everybody in our industry is talking about it, and there are lawmakers throughout the country at the state level looking at how to regulate it. Here to talk about that is MBA's William Kooper, our VP of State Government Affairs and Industry Relations. William, thank you for being here today.
Thanks very much for the invitation, Adam.
So I saw recently there are currently 120 bills drafted in Congress right now related to AI. There's been hearings and a lot of chatter in general. But from my understanding, there's even more going on at the state level. Is that correct?
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a very busy year in the States, always a very busy year in the States, but especially so this year because of this issue. And let me see if I can explain why. Most times when we're pursuing a campaign in states, we try to do it in one of two different ways. We try to anchor a discussion in a state to a federal policy, whether that's a GSE handbook or FHA mortgagee letter or some other requirement that the federal regulators place on the industry. Alternatively, we pursue a model bill campaign the way we did with our RON campaign, and that could be language we come up with or the language of another state. AI, very different kind of ballgame here. Not anchored in any kind of federal policy yet, and also we don't have kind of the model we are satisfied with yet. So it's been keeping us very busy.
Yeah, I can certainly see that, and I've seen the work that you and the team have been doing on this issue. So how are we addressing this uniqueness?
So given that context, the most important thing we can do is educate and inform. And so with our state partners, we're trying to get the message to policymakers that we understand their concerns, and we share them, right? We want to make sure that these tools do not either have or bring with them any kind of bias or discrimination. And so in that way, we all want the same thing. But most importantly, what we've said to them is, please appreciate that the industry has deep experience with these tools. Our member companies use them, indeed, for the benefit of consumers to make sure that we're extending affordable mortgage credit to first-time home buyers and low to moderate income borrowers. And that secondly, all of the laws, whether they're state or federal, that prohibit discrimination apply in this case. So that has kept our state partners very busy. We work very closely with them to deliver those messages.
And this is, of course, a very complex issue, but let's dive in on where and what we're seeing at various states.
Yeah, so a lot of conversation in the states, a lot of different legislators introduced bills as well. What we then engaged in is that sort of stakeholder discussion when there were hearings. But in the end, in terms of bottom lines, only 3 states really got bills right up on the finish line: Connecticut, Colorado, and California. And in the end, only Colorado moved that bill to the governor's desk and signed it. Now, that bill doesn't go into effect until the early part of 2026, which is good because it gives the industry time to review the language and study the implications. And we have an opportunity to talk to our members about how they could operationalize this law. And it's important to remember that when these bills are introduced, they're very blunt objects. And so we have to represent the industry's interest and ensure there aren't any unintended consequences that come from what is eventually passed. And that's going to be very important because this bill is now going to be the model for every other state going into 2025.
You mentioned those 3 states. Of course, there will likely be many more. On the unique operational needs of our members and our industry, how are you having those conversations with lawmakers?
Yes, and what I think is very important to appreciate as we're engaging in these debates in states with our state partners is that the bills, which often start as very blunt instruments, hold our members accountable for programs that they don't own or control. But the tools that we're employing to extend affordable mortgage credit often require us to use those kinds of tools. I'm talking about like AVM models in the appraisal space, underwriting tools of the GSEs, or credit scoring models. And so we want to protect against unintended outcomes in these bills. And so that's a very important core requirement of our advocacy.
I think you've broken down this issue very nicely here for our viewers. This has been a great conversation. Where can our members go to get more information or to participate?
Great question. So engagement. I would say 3 things. First, of course, join your state association where you live. They're on our front lines. They're the voice of the industry in state capitals. We work with them to make sure they have everything they need to be successful in that mission, which is essential. And also talk within your company about becoming members of state associations where you have business interests, because that will also help our industry's advocacy as well. Secondly, It's always a good day to join the Mortgage Action Alliance, right? And if you're a member of the Mortgage Action, of course, we want to say thank you. But please do renew if you're a member, or encourage your work colleagues and all your friends in the industry to join. It's free, it's fast, it's super easy, and there are unfortunately thousands of people in the industry who aren't yet members. But then third, check out our new website. mba.org/stateai is a new page that we've stood up. We're putting everything that we're working on with states on that page, including any bill or any law that's been enacted. And we also have a great new myth and facts piece that's there, so you can help get yourself educated and be a part of this advocacy effort.
Educate, participate, and engage. Those three things are key to our industry success, both for our members and here at MBA. This has been a fascinating conversation. Thanks, William.
Thank you, Adam.